All right, thank you so much for staying with the Monday Report, and see a lot of you talking about the great discussion that we're having here on organic food. Let's try and squeeze in some of your comments and your questions as well. But first, let's start with the videos that you sent in.
Can honey contaminated with bacteria, can it cure stammering?
For instance, if I go to the market to buy my sukuma wiki, how can I be able to differentiate the sukuma wiki that is organic and the sukuma wiki that is non-organic? Remember, we live in a day and age where most farmers use chemical fertilizers, they spray herbicides and use a lot of chemicals on their farms.
How do I know if something is organic? 2, is there a specific body that monitors or sets standards for organic foods? And 3, why is organic more expensive?
I'd like to understand, what are we doing when it comes to tracing the sources of the food that we consume daily, so that in case somebody suffers from something from a particular food that actually consumed, they're able to trace that it is from this particular individual that was able to supply this food. Another thing, we use agrochemicals when it comes to planting our food. What is the alternative, and how do we implement that so that everybody else gets to employ that and just ensures that the nation consumes safe food?
I'll start with Dr. Mundavi on this. There's a question about sukuma wiki. How do you differentiate that this one is organic, this one is not organic? They're all sukuma, they're there.
Yeah, that was a very good question from that questioner. Yes, it is very difficult to differentiate between two types of vegetables, organic and non-organic. And that is why I would like to say this without mincing words. Yeah. It's important for regulators once in a while to start taking stock of the produce taken to markets, especially open markets and even supermarkets, and do some rapid test analysis. You'll be shocked to see that some of the vegetables, for example, will be having very high pesticide residues beyond what should be the case. And those that are organic, not at all. But how do you tell? Because all of them will be looking very lush and green. Yeah. This is now the question of traceability. Who are the producers and suppliers of the vegetables to the markets, to the supermarkets, and so on? Yeah. So once that is brought on board, and also a sensitized approach for consumers to demand to know where this vegetable is coming from. Once in a while I go to Naivas supermarket, I see very nice spinach looking very healthy, and I ask some of those guys, where is this from? And some of them, I may not say how they respond at this stage, but it starts making me wonder, do these guys, as they sell, know where this spinach came from? So for us, we need to have systems in place that can enable consumers to demand, we want our produce to be produced in the healthy way, and also that now has to be linked to who are the producers, who are the suppliers. Bit of the issue of traceability and certification comes in there. And then, Trevor, there was the question of why is organic food more expensive?
Yes.
Well, in cases where the producers of organic food have supplied and they are certified, usually as a recognition of the good work they do, how much they put into, organic products tend to have a little bit of what we call a premium price. And that is in recognition of the standards that they're observing. Because those standards are meant to be for your own good, for your health. So if you have a farmer who is taking all the precautionary measures to ensure that the food that you get on your table is healthy, why wouldn't you want to reward such a farmer? So that we have less costs on our medicine treating our diseases because we are having healthy body systems. So such a farmer needs to be rewarded. Some little premium price is worth the price because that is where our health depends on a lot. So I would want to say, yes, it is good to recognize, it is good to motivate the farmers who are actually going the whole way. Sometimes it requires a lot of patience. And Trevor, that's why I said one of the key principles is on care. You care about who is producing, and you care about what you are producing. And that's why I want to say again, there is a big danger. Almost everywhere in urban areas, places are opening, nyama choma, places. There's no place for any fruits, no greens. And for goodness sake, if you want to lead a healthy life, it is not all that nyama choma is what you need. You need diversity. You need fruits. You need vegetables. Nutrition is like Kate Organics. They can tell you what you require for healthy diets. So guys, don't always see a new opening next to a petrol station, nyama choma. 15 minutes, you get it. You never know. In fact, I want to challenge and say, 5 years from today, can a study be done on the health status of people randomly? Look at the levels of cholesterol and other non-communicable diseases, lifestyles. It will be amazing in 10 to 10 years if the trend we are seeing today, how outlets for food, and particularly for meats, are growing. And everyone feels that that is the best place to go. Something has to be done about it, and maybe one day I'll be vindicated if ever a study like that is done.
Something, yes. Yeah, another aspect that can help our people. One is opening of markets that are organic, and we've had people, centers in which organic markets operate on particular days. And when you go there, there is a second aspect, which is labeling. It is well labeled that this is an organic product, and it has the Kilimo High label, meaning it has been certified that it is organic product. So this will address this issue. So our regulators actually need to be alive to this, support this in terms of opening up such markets. Because if you just go to any market, you would not actually know. And you can't actually tell by looking with your naked eye. So that is quite critical in terms of how our people can be able to know.
Yes, Dr. Neman.
Yes, I'm happy about the question because it shows that people are conscious about what they are eating. They look worried that what they are eating is not right. And if you look at the age of the people who are asking those questions, those are young people, and I'm happy about that. And I would say that at the local market, people go for the best looking tomatoes. People go for the very smooth sukuma wiki. But what I do myself is I will go for the one that that is holed by has a few holes, which shows that it has got no chemicals in it, because those pests will not eat sukuma wiki which has chemicals. I will go for tomatoes that look like they don't have good shape. They are not very smooth, and I'm sure that those ones are not contaminated by pesticides. I'm telling you that according to the international study, most of the vegetables we use, most of the fruits we use have a lot of chemicals. They have analyzed and have given what they call the dirty dozen, the 12 vegetables and fruits that have a lot of chemicals. And the first one is strawberries, the second one is spinach. Everybody eats spinach, even in this room. Yesterday probably you ate spinach, but it has a lot of those pesticides. So we should be conscious of what we are eating, and I'm happy that
you said there are 12.
Sorry?
You said the dirty dozen are 12 of them.
The 12 crops, fruits and vegetables that have a lot of pesticides.
What else is in that list? So we have spinach, we have
sukuma wiki, we have apples. I think it's number 4. We have 12 of them.
Do we have bananas?
Bananas are not there. In the
watermelons.
Yes.
And avocado, our favorite.
Avocado is among the safest.
Of this set.
Unfortunately, avocado is among the safest. Actually, avocado is in the 15 safest fruits to eat.
15 safest?
Yes, safest fruits.
Natural, hardly affected by pests.
Yes.
Sorry, I wanted to add something. You know, when it comes to your nutrition, when it comes to your health, in this day and age, we've seen a lot of things happening to our relatives, our neighbors, our parents. Lifestyle diseases are catching up with us. You're what you eat. You're the person who makes that last conscious decision of choosing healthy over unhealthy. So even if you're brought food that is not organic or it's not organic, you're the one who decides whether I'm going to put it in my mouth. We may speak here the whole night, tomorrow morning, the whole day. World Food Safety Day is over. But it is an individual responsibility. When you look at health, we have all the other aspects of health. When health is that complete state of your well-being, but also health is 85% of your responsibility.
Yeah.
You're the one who decides, am I going to live healthy?
Yeah.
Or am I not going to be healthy?
Yeah.
And this comes when you have children, and the children are taken care of, but as an adult, it is you. Whatever you're having for dinner right now, you've had for dinner.
Yeah.
It's your personal responsibility of choosing healthy over unhealthy.
Yeah.
We may have environmental toxins, the air we breathe, the things we do. There are certain small things that are not connected to, you cannot control them.
Okay.
But the basic unit of life is you that decides.
Yeah, and there's actually a question here for you, Kate. Professor Kirimi Laibu says, my question is, can the public believe chicken skin is not suitable for consumption with regards to its cholesterol levels?
Yes.
So we should not be eating the skin? I know Robert, my director, just bites the whole thing. He doesn't
I'm hoping that chicken is organic.
Okay.
So it's not the one that grows within 6 weeks, it's mature, they have injected hormones, and it becomes, there was a research that I was told, I went through, and they said that this chicken that we rear these days, they mature within 3 weeks.
The broilers and all that.
Exactly, and within these 3 weeks, they're still, the chick is still a chicken, a small thing, so they cannot even stand. So because they have ballooned because of the hormones they injected, so they topple over. And the story that I had, maybe someone will correct me, within the 3 weeks theory, they burst, they explode because they have to be harvested at that time. That's the meat you're eating.
Yeah.
Is that protein? Is that something that is giving you the fatty acids that you need from the chicken?
So you're basically eating the chemical.
Exactly. So I'm also saying, apart from that hormone will get into Kate.
Yeah.
It doesn't know that Kate needs to stay small and look healthy and look sexy. But because it is a hormone from, you don't know what hormones have, what will happen. You cannot cook a hormone until it dies.
Yeah.
So you transfer it to you. And that's why we have a lot of problems with our teenagers, young children. We have a lot of problems with ourselves as young mothers, as young women, because of the hormones that, even with men, that you're injecting directly to yourself through what you're eating, because it's not organic. Okay. And then apart from that, we are talking about, you ask, is the food healthy or not healthy?
Yeah.
The chicken, if it's organic, it's okay. The skin, once in a while is fine. Like today is, if it was a Friday, you went somewhere, it is okay. But if your cholesterol levels are high, the highest level of cholesterol comes from the skin of chicken. So if you have high cholesterol levels, we're always told to
remove the skin.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you're fine, once in a while, eating is a habit, eating is something that,
but ideally you shouldn't eat it.
So once in a while,
okay. All right. I see Samuel Enorutua here says, farmers could like to turn organic in farming, but when did farmers see extension officers to advise them in organic food growing? Never. Is that true, Dr. Mtam?
Wow, that's a very interesting question and also a valid observation. It is true, for example, in this country, extension services, as they say, have been decentralized. And the public sector, in this case the Ministry of Agriculture, largely plays the role of regulation. So other players, civil society organizations, non-government organizations, CBOs, have really taken up this role of providing extension and education to the farmers. But it's not sufficient. In my view, I still believe that Kenya has one of the biggest staff workforce in extension. Our institutions in this country, almost every university has a faculty of agriculture. They are producing graduates now and then. For sure, if all these were to be marshaled to go to the field and do what they've been trained to do, they'll support the farmers. Very few of them actually join NGOs and so on. So sometimes I feel when we say we would like the other players to be the ones to train the farmers, and our farmers are in millions, and yet what the proportion of those who are being trained from our public institutions are very few that go into the NGOs and so on. Majority are in the public. For me, if I had the leeway, I would ensure that all our graduates who are doing agricultural related courses be part of a very strong national extension system, and also have the curriculum embrace agroecology, organic agriculture, and other sustainable practices to bolster our agriculture. And let them go out, support them, equip them. And I'll tell you, this is how we can achieve our next green revolution, if we can really put our manpower into good use.
All right, Dr. Nehemiah, there's a question here from Dr. Carter, Peter Schmitz. Says, do you know that organic foods have a higher environmental and economic cost? Is that true?
Organic agriculture has a higher environmental
and economic cost.
And economic cost. I would say short-termly yes, but on the long term, no. Because what in organic agriculture is done is that we build on especially the health of the soils. And after that, we keep on building the health of the soils until it reaches a level where now the nutrients regulation is by the plants themselves. So short-termly, you may say that organic agriculture is labor intensive, organic agriculture is, has no immediate benefits, but on the long term, I would say that it is more beneficial than the other type of agriculture.
Rosina?
Yes, I want to add that actually organic agriculture has more of environmental benefits, not a cost. Because if you look at the whole ecosystem and even looking at the issues of water pollution, just picking an example of Varroa Roots, our study was done on Varroa Roots, and you know most of people plant Varroa Roots along the rivers. People love doing it along the rivers. And most of these Varroa Roots, they were found to have a lot of residues because most of the rivers are actually polluted, and most of this pollution is also coming from these agrochemicals and inputs that we are putting in place. So you find out that everyone is saying eat arrowroot is healthy, but at the end of the day, it has a lot of arrowroot. So I've seen even now farmers who got this kind of information, they started trying uplands arrowroots. And we have some farmers, especially in the areas of Muranga and Kiambu, who have been able to do very good uplands arrowroots because now it's not safe for planting. So it means even the waters that we are using for irrigating our food, then if it's harmful, it has that, it's actually costly, because if the health is affected, you have to go back to the hospital. And looking at even the statistics that are coming globally, is 1 out of 10 people actually die from food-related contamination, and some of these contamination are from agrochemicals, and it's worrying. It is a cost that has implications. So I would actually say that organic food is more benefit than cost to the environment and the economy.
All right, I'll give my guests a chance to give closing remarks really quick, because there's so many questions here, but they've promised that they will answer them at their own time. They have social media handles, they will respond to your questions, so do not despair. But Kate, before we finish, Tiger says, ask the nutritionist how the body decides which nutrients to absorb and which one aren't beneficial to it, or is it free for all?
I like that question. That's a very good question. It's not the body that decides, it's how we are created. If you look at my system, if you look at me, I'm made of nothing but cells. That's the basic unit of life. The cells make the tissues make the organs make the system, and the system is you. So for you to function, for me to be here right now, what does that cell need? It needs oxygen, it needs water, it needs vitamins, it needs minerals, it needs to have a healthy environment. For it to thrive, it needs to replicate, it needs to grow, for you to be, for you to continue growing. So that cells need nutrients that it understands. So if you give it an orange, an organic orange, for example, the vitamin C, it understands that more than if you give it a supplement capsule orange that should mimic or try to be the same thing. So your body understands or takes the nutrients that are in their natural state, the way you're created. It takes that more naturally, and it's not even, you don't even fight about it. You don't even wake up thinking about it. You drink water, it's automatic, it's water. You take your orange juice in the morning, it's automatic. But if you give anything that is not natural, if it is synthetic, if it's artificial, all the additives and the chemicals we're using in our foods right now that is causing disease, it gets to Kate's cell, and then my cell is wondering, what am I doing with it? You know, I have all this formaldehyde, for example. Formaldehyde is a preservative that is used in all the meat products. So it is something, I've taken some meat product or some milk product that has formaldehyde. It's in my system. So my cells do not know what to do with it. So the nucleus, the thinking, the brain in my cell is the nucleus. So it thinks, okay, formaldehyde is here. What are you going to do with it? Are you going to put it there? You know, they put it aside. And I think that's the reason why we're attracting cancers. Because we have all this multiplication of things that the cell, the nucleus, the basic unit of life in that cell, in the mitochondria, and the whole unit does not understand what to do with it. So if you bring something that is non-living, your body doesn't know. So it waits, and and the body really works hard. By the time you attract a disease, it has really fought. You know, disease is a process. It's not something that happens overnight. If I took a glass of sugar right now, sugar cane, I won't get diabetes tomorrow. Years to come. So the body protects you. But before that time, it is what that you're consistently putting in this body until it gets tired, until the cells decide
can't
that
fight anymore. Okay. I'll give each and every one of you a chance. Just 1 minute for closing remarks. Your rallying call to Kenyans, and I'll start with you, Collins, because we've run out of time already. Just 1 minute each.
Thank you, Trevor. I think one thing that I want to say is that we need to enhance public health education. That will help in addressing a lot of food safety issues. During the time of COVID-19, when we enforced washing of hands and proper hygiene, I think it was even reported in your media station that the hospitals didn't have patients. So we can reduce a lot of issues related to health. Two, consumer organizations need to be strengthened, and we need to support them both as individuals and as a government, so that they are able to give us directives, and that can help us even address issues that come from the producers.
Dr. Nehemiah, 1 minute.
Thank you, Trevor. I would like to say that prevention is better than cure. Let us not ask how we are going to get chemicals out of the foods that we have, but rather we should work towards producing chemical-free foods. I would tell you that we should come together and work as consumers and demand for safe foods, and that we are going to make sure that our systems are good, and we are not going to start talking about medicines being food, but we shall talk about food being medicine. So let us come together, work together for the common good of our bodies and our life.
Rosina?
What I can say is that we have done some strides as a country in terms of organic agriculture, but there is much more to be done. We call for support from all stakeholders, from policy processes that are supportive of organic agriculture. In schools, let us also continue to instill some of these organic agriculture attributes to the students, because at that particular age they are able to grow up with the knowledge, and we do away with all these attitudes and perceptions, because research is out there and it shows that there's a lot of potential in organic agriculture. So if we all work together as stakeholders along the value chain, then we shall make this country better, and we shall all contribute to the economy of this country.
All right, great. Kate, a minute.
Mine is so simple. The future is organic. Even as we speak right now, you know, we may not see it, but the future is organic. If we invest right now, you know, like the computer adage, many years ago, 20, 30 years ago, we were talking about computers, you know, Wi-Fi, internet was not there. Right now, the only thing that we need to do is to protect our health, to protect the environment, and it's only going organic.
Doctor?
Thank you, Trevor. For me, I think organic agriculture is the alternative we should impress.
Yeah.
It is very true, it will complement our Big Four agenda on the issue of food security, making food available for everyone. But we don't want to have food just being made available. What kind of food is it that is being made available? Okay. How is it being produced? How is it being handled all through to the consumers? For me, I think this is one area that we require everyone. It requires a multi-stakeholder approach. Yeah. The government has a role to play. The private sector has a role to play. Those in the non-profit making area, the civil society organizations have a role to play. And then the farmers themselves, it is their right to demand what is good for them and also for what they're producing for this country. Okay. However, I want to tell you, the health of this nation, economically, socially, environmentally, depends on what kind of agriculture we want to promote. Okay. If we can impress the research, the investments that can support environmentally sustainable agriculture, agriculture being the backbone of the economy of this country, will go very far. All right. Thank you very much for the opportunity. I hope when we come here next time, we shall be talking of results that have come out of this discussion. Yes. We don't want this discussion to end with today. Yes. We want from tomorrow the citizens to start questioning themselves. Definitely. Hey, where is this food coming from? How is it being produced? And the extension people, with all the people that are involved, will have their role to play to make this happen.
That interest is the reason we've extended this by more than 20 minutes. And Collins Odieno, Chairman, Pelham Kenya Board, thank you so much for making time. Dr. Nehemiah Mihindo, CEO, Africa IPM Alliance, thank you for making time. Rosina Mbenya, Country Coordinator, Pelham Kenya. Dr. David Amudavi, Executive Director, BioVision Africa Trust. And Kate Kibara, CEO, Kate's Organics Limited, and also a clinical nutritionist. And most importantly, thank you for all the questions that you've had. You've been sending so many questions. We couldn't answer all of them now, but I think Pelham is taking it upon themselves to ensure that they'll answer your questions in due course. My name is Trevor Mbijo. It was a pleasure having you with us. Go ye and eat organic food. So there's no nyama choma today, right?
You can have it.
Pelham Kenya joins the rest of the world in marking the World Food Safety Day on 7th June, advocating for clean, safe and affordable diets through organic farming. Pelham Kenya, networking for a greener Africa.